Yes, very good evening and welcome here to Tromboni for this Ladies Group Intermediate Football Championship Group Clash. It's Ardagh Moydow against Cashel, and this really has proven to be the group of death in the Intermediate Football Championship. 3 teams that would fancy their chances of winning the competition, all ending up in the one group. In game number 1 there was a 1-point win for Cashel, I should say a 1-point loss for Cashel, while Ardagh Moydow had a 2-point win, both games against Sean Connolly's. So Sean Connolly's have 2 points and a -1 point score difference with their 2 games played. They're looking for Ardagh Moydow to win or draw this evening to advance to the semi-finals of the Intermediate Championship. If Cashel win by 1, they advance to the semi-finals. However, if Cashel win by 3 or more, then Sean Connolly's and Cashel advance, and it's Ardagh Moydow who will bow out of the Intermediate Championship. It really is all to play for. It's a very, very tight group, and certainly we're expecting a very close encounter here this evening. Let's give you the teams. The Cashel team in goals is Conor Skelly, number 2. In the full-back line, Ronan Muldoon. 3 at full-back is Mel Farrell, and the other cornerback, number 4, Kieran Killian. The half-back line, James Skelly. 6 is Conor Farrell, and the completion of the half-back line is made up by Ronan Farrell, who wears 28, and he replaces number 7, Corey Carberry. Midfield for Cashel, Luke Casey and Andrew Farrell. The half-forward line, wearing number 21, Brian Kelly, comes in for Jamie Birmingham. David Sweeney starts at centre forward wearing 11, and wearing number 12 is Conor Flood. And the full forward line, number 13 is Pádraig Farrell, number 14 is Kevin Farrell, and number 15 is Shane Bannon. And of course the Cashel subs also listed there on the screen, the management team of Jason Tully and Michael Donlan. Let's move to the Ardagh Moydow team. You can see it on the screen there. Brian Farrell in goals. Now there's a change in the full back line. Number 21 Dominic Lennon comes in to replace number 3 Tommy Powell. So the full back line for Ardagh Moydow as we have it is number 2 Mark McCord, number 21 Dominic Lennon, and number 4 Dylan Riley. Half back line, 5 is Fergal Keenan, 6 is Conor Carroll, and 7 is John Keegan. At midfield, still a selection decision to be made by Ardagh Moydow. Niall Keenan, their number 8, was injured in the warm-up. He is not able to start this evening. We'll let you know as soon as possible who replaces him. Paddy Keenan is at number 9, the other midfielder for Ardagh Moydow. The half-forward line, at number 10 is Kevin Finnan, at number 11 is Dylan Cody, and wearing number 20 is Shane Henry. He replaces number 12, Mark Thompson. And the full forward line, number 13, Paddy Ganley. 14 is Emmett Donlan, and 15 is Cian Finnan. So that's the teams, the management team for Ardagh Moydow. Niall Sheridan, of course, the former Longford star, and he's joined on the line his management team of Frank Doyle, James Farrell and Pádraig Keegan. The referee for this evening's game is Joe McDermott, and he has summoned both teams to take up position so that we can get this eagerly awaited encounter underway. Remember, of course, any sort of win for Cashel and they advance to the semi-finals of the Intermediate Championship. However, a draw will not be enough for them. A draw or a loss and Cashel will go out, and it will be Ardagh Moydow and Sean Connolly's who advance. However, if Cashel win by 1, they're through along with Ardagh Moydow, and if they win by more than 3, they'll be joined in the semi-finals by Sean Connolly. So all to play for in this group, as I call it, the group of death in the Ladies Intermediate Football Championship. Referee Joe McDermott is just about ready to get proceedings underway. So very shortly we'll have the last group game in the Intermediate Championship to decide this particular group, Group 1. Joe McDermott, the referee, just ensuring that everybody is ready. One Cashel player, number 13, Pádraig Farrell, making his way out onto the field, a little bit delayed, but when he takes up his position, it'll be 15 v 15. I can see he's going to be marking Dominic Lennon, who has started at cornerback. Joe McDermott throws it in. Emmett Donlan scored a very good goal last week against Sean Connolly's in their opening game. Dylan Cody half blocked down. That'll be gathered easily by Conor Farrell. Farrell playing the ball out to the left hand side, but that's going to, I think, beat everybody. It has, and it's gone out over the sideline. It'll be a line ball to Ardagh Moydow. One launched into the danger zone. This is a very good chance for Ardagh Moydow. Killian Farrell, great chance, a shot, a goal! First attack of the game for Ardagh Moydow. And a first goal there for Killian Farrell. Killian wearing 18, starting a corner forward. Good ball inside. In fairness, he capitalised on any error that the Cashel defender was going to make, and was left with the simple task of blasting the ball past Conor Skelly. So Ardagh Moydow off to the perfect start here this evening. Ball is on the ground. Ardagh Moydow have it again. Emmett Donlan, the impressive Emmett Donlan, plays it outside towards number 17. That's Ronan Keane. So plenty of changes on both sides. Back with Ronan Keane once more now. He's got a man on the far post if he wants him, but he elects to go for the in-rushing Cian Finnan, who's pulled to ground. And it could be a yellow card here for the Cashel man. It could be Andrew Farr, the midfielder, who's going to be spoken to by the referee, Joe McDermott. Didn't see a card being flashed. But it is a free to Ardagh Moydow, which will be taken by Paddy Ganley. And Paddy Ganley extends the Ardagh Moydow lead. 1-1 to no score. Very good start for Ardagh Moydow, who would be perceived by many as favourites to come out of this group. Ball is out towards the middle of the field. That's a super piece of fielding by Andrew Farrell, spoken to by the referee a few moments ago, but hasn't let it perturb him in any way. Here comes Conor Flood. Conor Flood is less than 45 out from goal. Ball is played back inside, and the eventual kick has gone out to the right, and it's gone wide. So an early chance going a-begging for Cashel. 2.5 minutes on the watch here. Ardagh Moydow leading by a goal and a point to no score. And Brian Farrell, his first taste of the action is to take a kick out and seek out Paddy Keenan, who wins clean possession. Didn't take the mark, plays the ball inside towards the number 20, Shane Henry. Shane Henry cutting across the centre of the field, looking for possession back, but it's given away. Ball is given away by Ardagh Moydow. Ball is played inside to Pádraig Farrell. Back outside to Andrew Farrell. He'll go back outside again for Kevin Farrell. A combination of Farrells on this Cashel team. And it's eventually with number 21, Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly back to David Sweeney. David Sweeney shoots. And David Sweeney has found the range. A very good score from the big number 11. That's the first point of the evening for Cashel. They're back within 3. It's Ardagh Moydow 1-1. Cashel 1 point. And Ardagh Moydow will be disappointed with their defending there, allowing plenty of time and space to the Cashel forwards to move the ball around. 3 Farrells combined before David Sweeney popped it over. Also involved in the move was number 21, Brian Kelly. Ball is kicked out. Paddy Keenan plays it into the centre to Conor Farrell. Farrell into Dylan Cody. Cody racing through the centre. He's held. He looks up. There's nobody making a run. So referee Joe McDermott stops the advantage and awards the free to Ardagh Moydow. It's with Paddy Keenan. Paddy Keenan. Decent looking ball inside again towards Ronan Keane. Support arriving again from Cody. It wasn't actually Ronan Keane. It was Killian Farrell who won that ball. But it's won back by Cashel. And they can come away with possession. Brian Kelly. Inside to David Sweeney. The point scorer does extremely well. Cashel go on the run, but it's easily cut out this time by Shane Henry. He's been very busy in the opening exchanges, and a very good looking ball as well, but not able to get there was Killian Farrell. And again, Cashel can clear their lines momentarily at least. 28 for Cashel is Ronan Farrell. Still Ronan Farrell. Good play from Cashel, working it swiftly out of defence. James Skelly back to Andrew Farrell, who plays a decent looking ball inside. And in the end, the referee says that the Cashel number 13, Podge Farrell, was fouled. Free into Cashel, and a chance for them to narrow the gap back to 2 points. They were 4 behind, a goal and a point to no score, but that point from David Sweeney, and now this latest chance to half the deficit from 4 to 2. Not a very good looking free, but it's still anyone's ball inside, and in the end the Ardagh Moydow defence deal with it. Won by James Skelly. Plays it back into the big number 8, Luke Casey. But Luke Casey shoots out to the right and wide, and that's 2 or 3 chances for Cashel to narrow the gap here this evening, but they've only taken 1. And they trail by a goal. It's Ardagh Moydow 1-1. Cashel a point. That goal, the opening score of the game, scored inside 2 minutes by Killian Farrell, was followed by a Paddy Ganley pointed free. And that's why Ardagh Moydow lead here by 2 points, by 3 points, 1-1 to a point. Lovely fielding again by Andrew Farrell. He decides not to take the mark. Plays the ball off to David Sweeney. Back to Farrell once more. He looks up, he kicks. Oh, it could have been so easily a goal. But a great kick from Andrew Farrell. Almost deceived the Ardagh Moydow goalkeeper, Brian Farrell. But in the end, it hopped off the top of the crossbar and over. And all of a sudden, the gap is down to 2, and Cashel very dominant in these last 2 or 3 exchanges. Brian Farrell, the Ardagh Moydow keeper, in no particular rush to take the kick out. Remember, his side only need a draw this evening, or indeed could lose by 1 or 2 points and still advance to the semi-finals of the Intermediate Championship. Here's Ronan Keane. Started brightly. Decent ball inside towards Killian Farrell. Ball is laid off. Still with Ardagh Moydow. Conor Farrell plays it back to Killian Farrell, who shoots. And Killian Farrell scores an excellent point. And even though he has number 18 on his back, he started last week against Sean Conley's, and he started very brightly again this week against Cashel. He's already got a goal and a point, and Cashel Ardagh Moydow go back into a 1-goal lead, 1-2 to 2 points. Clean catch from Emmett Donlan, the impressive Emmett Donlan. It's now a Cian Finnan who lays it off to John Keegan. John was very impressive last week against Sean Conley's. He's pulled the ground. Great chance for Paddy Ganley. Steps, shoots and scores. A goal for Ardagh Moydow. Paddy Ganley really composed in possession. He could have shot immediately, but he took his time, a little sidestep, and he placed the ball into the left bottom corner of the net. And Ardagh Moydow go into a 6-point lead, 2-2 to 2 points. They haven't been hugely dominant, but they've taken the 2 goal chances that have come their way. Podge Farrell for Cashel. Back to Andrew Farrell. He looks up, that's going to drop short. Brian Farrell is off his line quickly and plays it out to Conor Farrell. Out to Conor Carroll, I should say. Emmett Donlan. Mark McCord. Ronan Keane. This is good football out of defence from Ardagh Moydow, and a good square ball towards Paddy Ganley. Lays it off towards Shane Henry. Certain chance of a score. Henry shoots, Henry scores. That's his first point of the evening. And all of a sudden, the gap has widened considerably here in Clonbonny. Huge mountain for Cashel to climb. Kick out is taken. Conor Carroll in possession. Ball is played across towards Killian Farrell once more. He'll look up. I'm sure he's going to shoot if he gets the opportunity. That's a lovely kick from Killian Farrell. Another score for Ardagh Moydow. And they've gone into a 2-4 to 2 point advantage. A goal and 2 points for Killian Farrell. A goal and a point for Paddy Ganley, and a point for Shane Henry. And Ardagh Moydow really look like they mean business this evening. They haven't really won the battle in midfield, but Cashel unable to convert these chances onto the scoreboard. And again, it's cut out easily by the very impressive John Keegan. He had a stormer last week over in the Laurels against Sean Conley's. Still John Keegan. Emmett Donlan to Paddy Keenan. This one's going to bounce kindly for Cashel. And it's with Kieran Killian who plays it forward towards Andrew Farrell once more. Ronan Farrell gets the ball somehow to his teammate Kevin Farrell. And it's now with Podge Farrell. So again, a combination of Farrells and a very good kick from Pádraig Farrell. And Cashel certainly needed that score badly. They still trail by 7, 2-4 to 3. But that was a super score from Pádraig Farrell. Just trying to count the number of Farrells that are on the pitch this evening. For Cashel, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for Ardagh, Moydow, well, there's another 1. So 6 Farrells. There's a load of Keenans as well. So do forgive me if we get the firsts and surnames confused. 2 Farrells on one side and 5 or 6 on the other. So do forgive us. Here come Cashel. Conor Flood tries to barge his way past, but in the end the referee judges that he was closed and held and has awarded a free to the Cashel men. And it looks like Kevin Farrell who's going to take this one. So one of 6 Farrells on the Cashel team. And this one he's put it over. 2-4 to 4 points. Just 2 scores between them, but those 2 scores are goals. And Ardagh Moydow will be very happy as we approach the 13th minute mark. Just 2 minutes to go before the water break, midway through the first half, the end of the first quarter. People now calling them quarters, I suppose. Good hands from Shane Henry. Very impressive early on. He's been pursued, but lays the ball off towards Dylan Cody. Cody seems to come out towards midfield. Plays the ball across towards Dylan Riley. Riley, good looking ball inside. Killian Farrell out very sharply to collect. Looking for support. There's none arriving, so he goes back across and gets it back. But Cashel do well. And there's a foul, surely. Referee says no. And now there's some sort of an argument between the referee and the Cashel number 13, Pádraig Farrell. And I think the referee, Joe McDermott, is going to hop that ball. Now, for me, it looked like a free to Cashel. But the referee wasn't having any of it. And he throws it up among a player from both sides. Ball breaks kindly for Ardagh Moydow once more. They're getting all the breaks early on, but this time they've intercepted. David Sweeney. Hardy bit of stuff is Sweeney. Plays the ball inside again. But it's a poor ball. And it's well cut out by Fergal Keenan, and it will be a free to Ardagh Moydow. Cashel trying to release the ball from his grasp, but it doesn't really matter because it's a free to Ardagh Moydow, so they're entitled to hold on to the ball. As we approach the 15th minute of play, just 30 seconds away from what will be the quarter point and the point at which Joe McDermott may blow the whistle to give both teams a chance to get some water on board. But it's the number 5, Fergal Keenan, who's on the ground in receipt of attention. 2-4 to 4 points. So another game, of course, this evening in the Senior Football Championship. Longford Slashers against Carrick Edmond. That game underway about 13 minutes. We'll bring you scores from there as soon as they come to hand. Where a win for Carrick Edmond would see them join Longford Slashers in the quarter-finals. Anything other than a win and they're out. And if they win by more than 13, They'll be joined by Drumlish in the quarter-finals. Slashers leading by 2 points to 1 after 13 minutes. A lot closer there this evening than it was between Drumlish and Slashers 2 weeks ago. Thanks to Denise O'Flaherty for that update. Here's John Keegan. Very impressive and very strong, the number 7. Ardagh Moydow just looked more economical in possession up front, but this time they're closed down by Cashel, and the referee gives a free for a push in the back there, I think on Cian Finnan. John Keegan, of course, a son of James Keegan, a nephew of John Keegan, who played for Longford, and also a brother of Leanne, who plays for the Longford ladies team, as Paddy Ganley kicks. And Paddy Ganley has really started very, very impressively here this evening. He's got a goal and 2 points, just like Killian Farrell in this first half. We've almost 17 minutes of the action played, so I wouldn't be surprised if Joe McDermott brings the first quarter to its conclusion. Should have probably blown it maybe a little bit earlier. But in any case, wanted to get that free taken. Paddy Canley has converted it, and it leaves Ardagh Moydow in a very comfortable position, leading 2-5 to 4 points at the end of the first quarter. And here in Clonbonny in Lanesborough, they've stopped the clock on the scoreboard so that when play resumes, we'll know exactly how much time has elapsed, not taking into account a break for the water play, which is probably a good thing. Wonder if the referees do likewise, but this game certainly was sparked into life very early on, inside 2 minutes, when Killian Farrell goaled for Ardagh Moydow. Paddy Canley grabbed a second goal midway through the quarter, and those 2 goals really the difference, as Ardagh Moydow lead here by 2 goals and 5 points to 4 points. And if you look over the far side of the field, if the camera is on them, in fact it is, you can see just over behind the very nice recline plant display, there's a couple of boys behind the wire. There's maybe 7 or 8 or 9 people over there, people that wouldn't be at this game. They're not at it, they're in a field, and if you go down to the right, you'll see another 4 or 5, and a little bit of a scattering of people right around the ground. I'd say maybe 20 people in fields watching this game this evening. Of course, due to COVID restrictions, no crowd allowed, but some people will try anything, and indeed have succeeded in getting a vantage point for this evening's crucial game here in Clonbonny. 2-5 to 4 points. Ardagh Moydow lead. Both teams now coming back out onto the field. So the referee, Joe McDermott, will resume the action with the kick out for Cashel following that latest pointed free from Paddy Ganley, and the clock can start again. So by my reckoning, we have 13 minutes remaining in the first half. Andrew Farrell, very good ball inside towards Pádraig Farrell, doesn't take the mark. Still Pádraig Farrell plays a good looking ball inside, but it's dropped at the vital moment by Luke Casey. It was a good chance for Cashel, and now Brian Farrell does ever so well to find Dylan Cody, and Ardagh Moydow can very quickly turn defence into attack. Still Dylan Cody looking for support. Here's Cian Finnan making a run from deep. The number 15 former Longford Slashers player plays the ball over to the far side, where it's held and won by Killian Farrell. A mark is taken quickly towards Cian Finnan, but Finnan challenged out of that one, and Cashel come away with it once more. Knocked on to Pádraig Farrell, the impressive Pádraig Farrell plays a deep ball inside, could break for anyone, but it's held by Ardagh Moydow. They've been very solid in defence. Conor Carroll picking up the scraps there, and eventually a free for Ardagh Moydow, awarded by referee Joe McDermott. They take it quickly. Dylan Cody, he's been very bright and sharp in the opening 18 minutes, to another man who's impressed, John Keegan, into Cian Finnan. who touched the ball on the ground, according to Joe McDermott. And a free out to the Cashel men. Taken quickly, David Sweeney plays it inside towards Brian Kelly, the number 21, still in possession. Conor Flood. Still Conor Flood for Cashel. High searching ball. Won by Andrew Farrell. Knocks it down for himself. Gets it up into his hands, and now he's trying to get away from Paddy Ganley. Surely there's a pull inside. Referee says there is. And it will be a chance for Cashel to narrow the gap to 6 points. They trailed by 7. They've had plenty of attacks. They've kicked a number of wides. No real clear goal cut chance. Ardagh Moydow have had 2 and have taken them. That's the reason why they lead by 7. But a chance for Pádraig Farrell to, or is it Pádraig Farrell? In fact, it's not. I think it could be Kevin Farrell to get his second point from a similar position to his previous effort. And this time he kicks it over once more. And we're back to a 6-point game. And it had to be a Farrell, really, that was going to score that one. There's so many of them scattered throughout this Cashel team. And now another Farrell, Brian Farrell, the goalkeeper for Ardagh Moydow, will take the kick out. Full back, Mel Farrell for Cashel. Outside to Pádraig Farrell, who shoots. And Pádraig will be disappointed with this latest effort because that's gone way out to the right and wide. So the Farrell's doing the business for Cashel, but they need to do a little bit more to close this 6-point gap. 2-5 to 5 points. The Ardagh Moydow goals coming from Killian Farrell after just 2 minutes, and Paddy Ganley adding a second in the first quarter. 2-5 to 5 points. And Brian Farrell once again is poised and ready over this kick out. Looking for somebody to make a run. The run is made by Ronan Keane, but it's not going towards him. It's held by Shane Henry. Shane has been so impressive for Ardagh Moydow. Didn't start last week. Very impressive when he came in, and he's been very impressive so far this evening. Ronan Keane surely touched it on the ground, and the referee said yes, he did. He had every chance to get the ball into his possession. David Sweeney. Sweeney plays the ball inside towards Brian Kelly and gets it back. He looks up, he shoots. That's a great kick from David Sweeney. He got the opening point for Cashel. He's now got their 6th point. They're back within 5. And we could yet have a battle here in Clonbonny in Lanesborough this evening. It's 2-5 to 6 points now. 11 points to 6. It's been very entertaining fair, it must be said. I was out at the senior championship meeting of Rathline and Columkill yesterday evening, and someone might argue that this is a better quality game and a higher standard, even though it's in the intermediate championship, which is of course the step below senior. Here's John Keegan. Dylan Cody does very well. His jersey is pulled. It'll be a free to Ardagh Moydow. Won by Cian Finnan. Goes back. Paddy Keenan. Ardagh Moydow very patient. Niall Sheridan telling his troops it's not on, so don't kick it in just yet, but it is on now because that's a great ball towards Killian Farrell. Farrell racing out from goal to win possession. Still Killian Farrell, but he's, if anything, he's taking the ball about 30 yards out and perhaps should have played it a little bit quicker. Slashers leading by 3 points to 1 in the senior championship game. That game over in Ballymahan, 3 points to 1 in favour of Slashers, and again thanks to Denise. And again, Cashel kicked the ball away, won back by Dylan Cody, who plays it into Paddy Ganley. Ganley, a great looking ball towards Killian Farrell. He's got one man to beat if he wants to take him on. Still Killian Farrell looks inside and shoots, and this time he's kicked it to the right and wide, and that was a good chance. I thought he might have cut inside and kicked it over with the right, but in the end he narrowed the angle for himself, made it difficult. And the ball harmlessly, well not harmlessly, but blasted to the right and wide. Here come Cashel once more. James Skelly plays it into David Sweeney. Sweeney is fouled. tries to bring Cian Finnan to ground with him. Free to Cashel. And again, Ardagh Moydow picking up the scraps, very tight defensively and very good at working the ball out of defence. It's now with their number 9, Paddy Keenan. Very impressive last week against Sean Conley's. Plays it inside towards Mark McCord. Still McCord, another driving run from him. Paddy Ganley, great looking ball inside to Dylan Cody. Oh, and it could have been a goal, but it's a brilliant point. A brilliant point from Dylan Cody. And the skill of Paddy Ganley to put a pinpoint pass into the path of Dylan Cody. On another day it would have been a goal, but just too much purchase on the shot from Dylan Cody. It's gone over the bar and we're back to a 6-point game, 2-6 to 6 points. Cashel are going to introduce a substitute. And it's Jamie Birmingham, who was selected to start but didn't. He's coming on to the Cashel team, and Shane Bannon departs. Kick out once more from Conor Skelly. But Ardagh Moydow beginning to get a stranglehold on midfield. Cashel had won a lot of early ball in that sector, but in the last 5 or 6 exchanges, Ardagh Moydow have been dominant there. Paddy Keenan. Shane Henry goes to ground. Emmett Donlan. Back to Paddy Keenan once more. Steps inside. Plays the ball back outside once more. Emmett Donlan. Kind of gone out of the game for the last few minutes, Donlan, after a bright start. That's a dangerous looking challenge on Dylan Riley by the Cashel number 9, Andrew Farrell, and it'll be a free to Ardagh Moydow. High challenge there on Dylan Riley, but he's been very solid, as have all the Ardagh Moydow defenders, in fairness, in these opening 25 or 6 minutes. Conor Carroll. John Keegan is pulled to ground. And now a Cashel man, Jamie Birmingham, seemed to be pushed to the ground by Conor Carroll. Referee is just telling everybody, just get on with it, lads. He's going to have a word with somebody. Not sure who it is. But in the end, doesn't issue any yellow card. It'll be a free for Ardagh Moydow. Paddy Keenan. Emmett Donlan. Donlan is pulled. Arm is pulled. And the referee, Joe McDermott, I think is going to bring this free in closer to goal. A little bit of dissent from Cashel. 2-6 to 6 points. It's been an excellent half of football, particularly from Ardagh Moydow. They've been clinical in front of goals. They haven't really, they've only kicked 1 or 2 wides. Cashel guilty of far more. And the number 18, Killian Farrell, who's already got a goal and 2 points to his credit from play, will be hoping to add to that with this latest free. Looks up and shoots and puts it over. And Ardagh Moydow now extend their lead to 7. It's 2 goals and 7 points to 6 points. Kick out is taken towards the middle of the field once more, where it's won by Mel Farrell for Cashel. Pushing the back. Pushing the back on number 21, Brian Kelly. He's adamant he's getting that ball back, but he slows it down when really the advice would be to keep it moving as quickly as possible, and then goes back with it, but really had no choice because there was nobody making themselves available in an advanced position. Kieran Killian inside to Ronan Farrell. And in the end, a little bit harshly, the referee penalises Ardagh Moydow, and the free kick is taken quickly. There's two men inside. Back outside to Jamie Birmingham. Birmingham going wide again, gets it back. Still Birmingham. And Ronan Farrell is fouled, and it'll be a free to Cashel. And a chance for them with just over a minute of normal time remaining in the first half. A chance for Cashel to again bring the game back to a 2-goal game. 2-7 to 6 points currently. 3-2 now Longford Slashers lead against Carrick-Edmond. Remember, any sort of a win for Carrick-Edmond and they will advance alongside Longford Slashers. If they win by more than 13, Carrick-Edmond will advance alongside Father Manning Gales. I don't think that's going to happen. But it's a tight game. Slashers leading by 3 points to 2, and another wasted opportunity here for Cashel. Another wide. If I'm not mistaken, they've kicked at least 5 and maybe 6 wides in this first half, and if they had converted maybe 3 of those, you know, you're only 4 points down. But as it stands, you're 7 down. It's Ardagh Moydow 2-7, Cashel 6 points. And Brian Farrell once again takes the kick out. Paddy Keenan will do well to keep it in play, and he does well to keep it in play. John Keegan. Good hand movement from Ardagh Moydow, and in fairness to them, they've been very good at working this ball out of defence all evening so far. Fergal Keenan plays it inside towards Dylan Cody. He's really come into the game in the last quarter. Been very impressive. Still Dylan Cody. He's made a huge amount of ground. He's now in a position to shoot if he wants. Gives it inside towards Killian Farrell. Killian turns and shoots. And has he got the range? Indeed, he has. Super score. Super score there from Killian Farrell. He's now got a goal and 4 points in this first half. Half of his side's total. It's 2-8 to 6 points. The 30 minutes are up. So all that's remaining is the time that the referee, Joe McDermott, adds on for stoppages at the end of the first half. Brian Kelly goes to ground, touches it on the ground, and again the Ardagh Moydow defence are resolute. Cashel finding it very difficult to break through. Cian Finnan to Shane Henry, to Emmett Donlan, back to Cian Finnan, and a chance for Cian Finnan in loads of space to maybe look up and shoot. Seems to be pulled and dragged. Referee agrees with me and gives a free to Ardagh Moydow. Niall Sheridan very happy with his side's performance in this first half, and so he should be. Very impressive. Leading by 2-8 to 6 points. That's an 8-point gap, and one might suggest that the mountain already getting very steep for Cashel. Real uphill battle for them in the second half. And that's another super kick from Killian Farrell. And he has now scored a goal and 5 points. And there is the half-time whistle. 2-9 to 6 points in favour of Ardagh Moydow over Cashel. It was nip and tuck early on, but I suppose after the first goal scored inside 2 minutes from Killian Farrell, it always looked ominous for Cashel. Paddy Ganley grabbed a second goal, and although Cashel did get it back to 5 points on one occasion, they're now 9 in arrears as a very strong finish to the half for Ardagh Moydow. Sees them lead here. It's Ardagh Moydow 2-9, Cashel 6 points. We'll be back in 10 minutes for second half commentary. Yes, welcome back for the second half here in Clonbonny, this Intermediate Football Championship final group game between Cashel and Ardagh Moydow. Ardagh Moydow leading by 9 points at half time, and certainly a massive uphill battle for Cashel in this second half. They have 30 minutes to keep themselves in the championship. As it stands, both Sean Connolly's and Ardagh Moydow will advance to the semi-finals unless Cashel can win this evening. They need to win, and they trail by 9. Joe McDermott, the referee, gets the second half underway. I can tell you that Longford Slashers lead Carrick-Edmond by 4 points to 3 in the Senior Football Championship. Dangerous looking ball played inside towards Pádraig Farrell for Cashel, but it's gone out over the end line and wide. And again, while the intention was good, just nothing coming off for Cashel this evening. They've had a large number of wides. That's the latest one there. Whereas at the other end of the field, Ardagh Moydow taking almost every chance that comes their way. Dominic Glennon. Jamie Birmingham wins it back for Cashel. Good looking ball inside, but again it's dropped by Cashel. Breaks momentum momentarily, but Kevin Farrell does win it. Plays it inside to Mel Farrell. Back outside to Jamie Birmingham. Looking for space to maybe find a shot at goal, but in the end the ball is booted in towards Pádraig Farrell. He does ever so well. Takes the mark. Doesn't take the mark. Shoots. What a save from Brian Farrell. And that could be the save that certainly keeps Ardagh Moydow in firm control, but we'll just have a look at that again. It was a super catch inside. And eventually when the ball came back out, the shot very well saved by Brian Farrell. So a 45-metre kick to Cashel. (2-9 to 6 points the score here. Can Andrew Farrell make it 2-9 to 7? That one is not a good one. And in the end, a foul on the Cashel number 21, Brian Kelly, who's been involved in plenty of the action this evening. But Cashel unable to convert many of these attacks into scores. They've only scored 6 times from, I'd say, 15 or 16 attacks. Kevin Farrell. Nice looking kick from Kevin Farrell, and that with relative ease goes over the crossbar. He just stroked it off over from a 2-step run up. Just have a look at that one again from Farrell. Super kick. And Cashel closed the gap to 8 points. 2-9 to 7. Touched on the ground by Ardagh Moydow. So Cashel starting brightly in this second half. Just a minute and 30 seconds gone. And if Cashel had converted that goal chance, we'd have game back on. But they do need a goal. They certainly do need a goal. I don't think they'll win this game without finding the back of the net. David Sweeney over on the far side. Andrew Farrell with the shot, but it's gone to the right and it's gone wide. And the county player, Andrew Farrell, although playing well this evening, his side not taking their chances. He's a big man, is Andrew. But Cashel have had loads of chances. Close the gap. They've taken just one. And they trail by 8. It's Ardagh Moydow 2-9. Cashel 7 points. Paddy Keenan plays the ball inside towards Cian Finnan. Towards Paddy Ganley. He's normally very accurate. Will he get room to shoot? He looks up, he shoots. That's a super kick from Paddy Ganley. And there was a doubt about Paddy Ganley starting this evening. He didn't start last week. He was very impressive when he came in. And we just look at that one again, but Super kick from Ganley. Super kick. And Ardagh Moydow extend again. They lead by 9. And they come again. Emmett Donlan playing the ball inside to Cian Finnan. He's certainly come into the game in the last few exchanges. Ardagh Moydow leave the ball behind them, and the linesman on the far side indicating it'll be a line ball to Cashel. 2-10 to 7 points. And again it goes out over the line, and this time it'll be a line ball to Ardagh Moydow. Booted in towards the danger zone, but it's gone out to the left and it's gone wide. So a let off for Cashel. They'll need plenty more let offs between now and the end of the game, and they'll need plenty of scores at the other end of the field if they're to stay in this intermediate football championship sponsored by Miladies. 2-10 for Ardagh Moydow. That's a total of 16. 7 for Cashel. 9-point gap. Conor Skelly is ready to take the kick out for Cashel, but there's a delay in play. The referee is having words with Cian Finnan, and he's issued a yellow card to Cian. Could have been 2 yellows there, just not entirely certain, but certainly Cian Finnan got one for dissent. Kieran Killian. Paddy Ganley to Shane Henry. Oh, and there's a lot of bit of punching and grabbing going on in the centre of the field, and I think the Cashel number 4, Kieran Killian, could be in trouble. He certainly lashed out. He lashed out at John Keegan, and I think Kieran Killian could be leaving the field here. Joe McDermott, the referee, having words. I'd be very surprised if this is anything but red. It's a red card. Red card for Kieran Killian. We might have a replay of that. But it was very clear. It was very clear that there was a punch. And you can see it clearly that Kieran Killian guilty of striking. And the referee left with no option but to send him off. It'll be a free, or will it be possession for Ardagh Moydow as they bring in Mark Thompson. Not sure as yet who's going off. Blood sub John Keegan. Mark Thompson for John Keegan. Back with the action, Paddy Keenan. Good looking ball inside to the very impressive Killian Farrell. He scored 1-5 in the first half, and that's a dangerous looking ball. 2 Cashel men go for it, and in the end Andrew Farrell, the big county midfielder, is adjudged to have overcarried the ball by the referee Joe McDermott, or maybe an elbow, but in any case a foul committed by Andrew Farrell. Another free to Ardagh Moydow. And if they score this one and go 10 points in front, one might suggest that there's no way back for Cashel. Yellow card for Andrew Farrell. He'll be disappointed. Huge man in peak condition. Longford Smashers have got a goal against Carrick Edmond, and if you're tuned in from Drumlish, you'll be happy with that one. 1-4 to 3 points. Not sure who got the goal, but Slashers on their way to victory, it seems, leading by 4. Rory Clark with the goal. Thanks again to Denise O'Flaherty. She's like my secretary here this evening here in Clonbonny. Not getting paid enough, she said. Well, sure, we'll have to rectify that. Can't even buy her a drink. Paddy Ganley kicks and Paddy Ganley scores. Yeah, we're just going to have a look at that red card incident again. And really the referee was left with no choice. Just have a look at it again. And very clearly you can see the punch landed by Kieran Killian. He's left the field. And it'll be a tough battle for Cashel as this latest attack from Ardagh Moydow results in a wide. But there's 10 points between the sides. There's only 22 minutes remaining here. An uphill battle for Cashel. Conor Skelly. Paddy Ganley. Very impressive, Paddy, this evening. He's not getting any younger either, but he's certainly showing plenty of skill and plenty of fitness and plenty of accuracy here this evening. He's scored 1-4. And for a man that was, it was dubious whether he'd start or not, he certainly has been one of those aces up the sleeve of Niall Sheridan for Ardagh Moydow. Conor Carroll goes to ground. Now, it looked like a fair shoulder on the run, but in any case, the referee bringing proceedings to a halt. He'll award a free in to Ardagh Moydow. The linesman on this near side, Bilal Moran, you can see with his flag hoisted. He wants to have a word with the referee, Joe McDermott, and let's see if there's any sanction as a result of this conversation. So Bilal Moran has obviously spotted something. He points it out to Joe McDermott. And the referee, Joe McDermott, now going in. And he calls across Jamie Birmingham. Carrick-Edmond have closed the gap. Back to a 2-point game. 1-3-4, I think, or 1-4-5. 1-4-5 in favour of Slashers. So Carrick-Edmond not going away. There'll be a similar amount of time remaining there. Yellow card for Jamie Birmingham. Paddy Ganley will take the resultant free. This a little bit further out than any of his scores, but still well within his range. I can tell you that number 22, Gerard Farrell, who also came in last week against Sean Connolly's, he's coming in again this evening. And it's Ronan Keane who leaves. So yet another Farrell on the field. 3 for Ardagh Moydow and 6 for Cashel. So 9 out of the 30. That's 30% of the players on the pitch this evening with the surname Farrell. Another wide from Paddy Ganley. And now it's the turn of Ardagh Moydow to be wasteful. Kicking 3 or 4 wides in this second half. 4 minutes to the end of the third quarter. Out towards the middle of the field, won by Gerard Farrell, his first taste of the action. Back to Shane Henry. Henry is pushed to ground by Andrew Farrell, who will have to be careful because Andrew Farrell has already been booked. Cashel already down to 14 men. They won't want to lose another man. Referee Joe McDermott issues a yellow, and that's going to be followed by a red. And it looked rather soft. So Cashel down to 13. Andrew Farrell leaves the field of play. And for Cashel, if the job wasn't hard enough, it's just got a whole lot harder. Down to 13 after the dismissals of both Kieran Killian and Andrew Farrell. And another red card. Another red card for Cashel. That's 3 red cards, so they're down to 12. We'll tell you in just a moment. Unfortunately, we don't have the graphics to tell you that 3 have been sent off, but 3 have been sent off. And I think it's 24, is it? Stephen Weaver. It is indeed Stephen Weaver who's been sent off. Wasn't long on the field. 3 red cards for Cashel. 12 against 15. This should be one-way traffic. 1-4 to 6 points long for Slashers lead. Carrick-Edmond back to a 1-point game there. Push in the back. Free to Ardagh Moydow, Emmett Donlan. Conor Carroll, he's been very impressive at centre-back this evening for Ardagh Moydow. Plays it out to another impressive man, Killian Farrell, and to another one, Paddy Ganley, and into Paddy Keenan, who hasn't been too bad either. Ardagh Moydow racing through, and in the end, Fergal Keenan is brought to ground. And don't tell me the referee is going to have words again with somebody else from Cashel. This time, doesn't make any decision in terms of a card. And it'll be another chance for Ardagh Moydow to extend their lead. They lead by 11 points, by 10 points I should say. If Paddy Ganley can get his 5th point of the evening, which he has, they'll lead by 11. 2-12 to 7 points. And Paddy Ganley now at 1-5, 1-2 from play, 3 points from frees, and that brings the third quarter to its conclusion, and really no way back for Cashel, one might suggest. If they had an equal number of players, you might give them some semblance of a chance, but really Ardagh Moydow, who lead by 11 points and also have the advantage of having 15 players on the pitch, looks as if they're on their way to the semi-finals. Cashel with just 12 players, 3 players sent off in that third quarter. Just having a look back at some of the highlights. Cashel did have a chance of a goal there very early on, but a great save from Brian Farrell denying them. Converted free there for Cashel. That was a super kick from Kevin Farrell. But really most of the action was the other end of the field. After a bright opening from Cashel to the third quarter, it was Ardagh Moydow who took control, and Paddy Ganley in particular, very, very impressive. He's scored 3. There's the first red, as you can see. Clear punch. Referee left with no option but to dismiss Kieran Killian. A few moments later, Andrew Farrell joined him on the line for a tackle on Ger Farrell. And also a third red issued to number 24, Stephen Weaver. So as the teams come back out onto the pitch for the final quarter, there'll only be 12 men making their way out for Cashel. The full 15 will make their way out for Ardagh Moydow. And whatever chance you have in Gaelic football, if you're down 3 players and you're trailing by 11 points, one might suggest that the game is up for you. So nothing short of a miracle will suffice for Cashel here this evening. Ardagh Moydow coming back out onto the field. Longford Slashers leading slenderly by 1 point at the end of the third quarter over in Ballymahon. Conor Skelly will take the kick out. 11 points between the sides, out towards the middle of the field. Cashel win it back. That was Ronan Farrell. Pádraig Farrell. And fair play to Cashel with 12 men. They somehow worked the ball out. But you can just see the numerical advantage in that central zone where there are 7 or 8 Ardagh Moydow jerseys and just 1 or 2 Cashels. And if you look defensively, there's just a huge surplus of the green, gold and purple jersey of Ardagh Moydow. But this time they pull the Cashel man to the ground. And a chance for Kevin Farrell to get his 4th point of the evening. It was Ronan Farrell that was fouled, and another Farrell now, Kevin, looking for his 4th of the evening. And he's kicked it wide. And that just sums up Cashel's evening, really. Nothing going their way. They had plenty of possession in the first half. The 2 goals, the major difference at half time. But quarter 3 was all about the sendings off. 3 of them. First to go was Kieran Killian, followed by Andrew Farrell, and almost immediately followed by Stephen Weaver. And that's why it's going to be very difficult for Cashel to do anything about closing the score in the final quarter. 12 against 15 here. But more importantly, it's 18 points to 7. 2-12 to 7 in favour of Ardagh Moydow. An 11-point gap. Brian Farrell kicks out toward... Oh, wonderful piece of fielding. Shane Henry has been huge for Ardagh Moydow this evening. Oh, what a ball inside as well. Touched on the ground, surely. Referee agrees with me. Strange, I suppose, Killian Farrell, he found himself not in the ideal position. But he didn't have to do much about it because Ronan Farrell has touched the ball on the ground. That's not allowed. Free into Ardagh Moydow, and Killian Farrell will take it. And Killian has scored again. Latest point for him. Just have a look at that again. And a simple score there for Killian Farrell. 2-13 to 7 points. Ball is played out towards the middle of the park. We have 11 minutes to go here in Clonbonny, in Lanesborough. Slashers have extended their lead to 2. Cashel retain possession here. Jamie Birmingham plays it inside towards Conor Flood. Super block from Conor Farrell, or from Conor Carroll. Mark Thompson keeps the ball in play. Paddy Keenan, Ger Farrell looks outside, great ball towards Shane Henry. Oh, super ball towards Killian Farrell, but Skelly is off his line. Conor Skelly out quickly to react to that one. (2-13 to 7), 12 between the sides. Cashel not giving up. Pádraig Farrell, however, loses possession. Damage limitation for Cashel at this stage, trying to keep the score down because Ardagh Moydow will run at them, I'm sure, for the remaining 10 minutes of this game. Here's Killian Farrell, he's in, he shoots. Oh, that's a wonderful goal from Killian Farrell. The goal of the game, no doubt about that. Super finish. 2-6 for Killian Farrell this evening. But just look at it again. Killian Farrell steps inside his man and blasts the ball past the helpless Conor Skelly in the Cashel goal. 3-13, that's 22-7, 15 points between the sides. And Killian Farrell moves to the top of the scoring charts. Paddy Ganley had overtaken him for a while, but or had joined him. But Killian Farrell has now scored 1-2 in quick succession, and that's another great kick. But it's gone out to the right and wide. So Killian Farrell has scored, as I said, 2-6. Paddy Ganley has scored 1-5. So between them, they've scored 3-11 of Ardagh Moydow's 3-13. That's some scoring between two men. Here's David Sweeney. In fairness, he's been impressive for Cashel. Anytime he's been on the ball, he's also got 2 points from play, and he's been fouled. Takes the free, but has to go back with it. Back to Pádraig Farrell. Cashel still have it. That's Conor Farrell who lays it off. Back inside to Pádraig Farrell. He's back sweeping in this second half, but he gets it in towards Conor Farrell, who looks up and shoots, and that one is going to be kept in play. Luke Casey gets there first for Cashel. He's got Jamie Birmingham outside him. He uses Jamie. Jamie goes to ground. Referee says play on, and in the end he gives a free out to Ardagh Moydow. So things not going the way of Cashel this evening. Cian Hartman, substitute in for Ardagh Moydow, gets possession to hand. Plays it out to Paddy Ganley. Back inside to Killian Farrell. Paddy will double back. Killian, however, elects to go over the far side towards Shane Henry. Simple as you like. Another score for Shane Henry. That's his second point this evening. And apart from Shane Henry, Paddy Ganley and Killian Farrell, only Dylan Cody on the score sheet for Ardagh Moydow. But a huge tally between two men of 3 goals and 11 out of 3 goals and 14 points. And the two toasts of Ardagh Moydow this evening will be Paddy Ganley and Killian Farrell. Paddy Keenan leaves the field of play. He's replaced by Cahal McGlynn. And a chance for Ardagh Moydow to give some of their lesser lights a run. With 7 minutes remaining, a great luxury for Niall Sheridan and his management team to be able to give game time to so many players. Kevin Farrell scored 3 frees for Cashel this evening, but this time he recycles the ball. Comes back to Ronan Farrell. Will he have the range? He hasn't. It's held by Brian Farrell in goals for Ardagh Moydow. And despite their numerical dominance, that's a poor ball from Brian Farrell. There were 6 or 7 Ardagh Moydow men didn't look interested in winning possession there. Cashel have it back. David Sweeney. Jamie Birmingham looks up and shoots, and that's a wonderful kick from Jamie Birmingham, and that came all about from, I suppose, a lack of concentration from Ardagh Moydow. Super score from Jamie Birmingham, in fairness to him. And with only 12 men, Cashel get a point on the scoreboard. It's only their 8th, however. They're still 15 in arrears. Ardagh Moydow on the attack once more. Shane Henry chasing after this one over on the far sideline. Keeps it in play. He'll recycle. Goes outside to Mark Thompson. Inside once more towards Cahal McGlynn. Poor effort. Easily dealt with by Cashel. And now it's with Jamie Birmingham. And you know, he's been impressive. He's got himself into bother with the referee, but he's had plenty of possession, has Jamie Birmingham. He's done good work with it this time. Corey Carberry is fouled. Conan Casey also in for Cashel. Pushing the back there by Ger Farrell. That was on Ronan Farrell, so it'll be a free to Cashel. 4 minutes of normal time remaining here. Challenge there on Jamie Birmingham that Ardagh, I do reckon, was a fair tackle, but the referee says no, it wasn't. It's a free to Cashel. Kevin Farrell will take it. It's a lot closer than one he popped over about 10 minutes ago. So one would expect if he has the accuracy, he'll certainly have the range. So Kevin Farrell with just over 3 minutes remaining. Lovely kick from Kevin Farrell. He really is a tasty free taker. Takes them from the ground. A lot of players electing nowadays to take them from the hand. But this one from the ground. Slotted over again by Kevin Farrell. His 4th point of the evening. 9 points for Cashel, but 3-14 for Ardagh Moydow. Here's Dominic Glennon. Plays it inside. Conor Carroll. Very impressive, Conor Carroll, I must say, this evening. Killian Farrell playing it into the path, I think, of Shane Henry. In fact, it wasn't, but it didn't matter because it's gone out to the right and wide. It was, in fact, number 24, Cahal McGlynn, I think, who had that shot. Cashel trying to work it out. Haven't got an update from the Slashers game in a while. 1-6 to 6 points. Slashers leading by 3. Only a few minutes remaining there for Carrigaline to resurrect their championship. They'll need at least a goal and a point, or 4 points to stay in it. 1-7 to 6 now. Slashers lead. They lead by 4. and it looks like Drumlish will join Slashers in the quarter-finals of the Peter Hanley Motors Senior Football Championship. Also into the quarter-finals go Columkill and Mullinachta. Already there are Kilo, so there's still 3 places up for grabs in the quarter-finals. And Granard, of course, so there's only 2. Sorry, Denise. And all she did for me this evening, and I forgot to mention that Granard were the first team through to the quarter-finals of the championship. Here's Conor Farrell. Oh, it's a lovely kick from Conor, and I think he's found the range as well. Indeed he has. Lovely score from Conor Farrell. And in fairness to Cashel, they haven't given up. 3-14 to 10 points. Brian Farrell, the goalkeeper, will take the kick out once more. Finds Dominic Lennon. Dominic getting into lots of good positions in this second half, particularly when Cashel don't have the numbers to mark the kick out. Ardagh Moydow going short and winning everything. Dylan Cody. Dylan, I've been informed by Denise, is a nephew of Paddy Keenan. And another score for Dylan. Dylan Cody, of course, played minor for Ardagh Moydow in this year's minor championship. They're out of that competition now, but lost a ding-dong battle to Longford Slashers for a place in the semi-finals. Slashers winning in the end by 5 or 6 points. But for Cody, no more minor. He'll now be in an intermediate semi-final. Another step up for the young Ardagh man. Here's David Sweeney for Cashel. Kevin Farrell. Conan Casey. Good ball from Conan inside towards Ronan Farrell. Referee blew his whistle to award a mark because the kick was from outside the 45 and caught inside, but I don't think Cashel were aware of it, and in any case that will definitely be a free. Ronan Farrell pulled to ground by Ger Farrell, and the referee will have words with Ger Farrell, I'm sure, and I'd say perhaps it could be a black card for Ger because he definitely pulled the Cashel man to the ground. No card. Strange. Kevin Farrell kicks it over. Another score. Bit of shouting going on between the Cashel substitutes and one of the Ardagh Moydow players, and might be best for everybody just to stay as quiet as possible. .315 to 11 points. And that is the end of the action here in Clonbonny as Cashel exit the championship. 3-15 for Ardagh Moydow, 11 points for Cashel. And in fairness, it was a great performance from Ardagh Moydow this evening. They got the goals at the vital times. Great opening goal from Killian Farrell. That was followed up by one from Paddy Ganley. And a third one from Killian Farrell near the end, really just putting the icing on the cake for Ardagh Moydow. 3-15 to 11 points. We'll have a look back at some of the highlights. And just some of the second half highlights. You can see that save from Brian Farrell very early on. Now that was a vital save from Brian, because if Cashel had scored that, the gap would have been back to 4 points. But as it was, Ardagh Moydow went up the other end of the field and tagged on a couple of scores to put some breathing space between the sides. Then, of course, we had a triple sending off. Never saw it before. 3 men from the one side sent off within 3 minutes of each other. Andrew Farrell was first to go. In fact, it was Kieran Killian that was first to go, followed by Andrew Farrell, followed by Stephen Weaver. Cashel down to 12, and really it was game over. But credit to Cashel, they stuck at it, despite the fact that they were down to 12 men. And indeed, tagged on 3 or 4 points in the closing stages. But you can see there, you can see the sending off there. That was the first one. That was the departure of Kieran Killian. But very quickly after that, Cashel were reduced to 12 men. Another 2 men dismissed by the referee, Joe McDermott. And to really for Ardagh Moydow, it was target practice for the remainder of the game. Here's the third goal. Great finish there from Killian Farrell, and really was all one-way traffic. But despite the dominance of Ardagh Moydow, a late point there for the Cashel full forward Kevin Farrell. So that's the action here from Clonbonny. I can tell you that Longford Slashers, have they won, Denise, or do they lead? Denise will be able to tell me. They lead 1-8 to 7 points, I think, to Longford Slashers in the other game, if you're tuned our way. So it looks like Longford Slashers and Drumlish will advance to the quarter-finals of the Senior Championship sponsored by Peter Hanley. But in the Miladies Intermediate Championship, a big win here this evening. For Ardagh Moydow. The final score, as we sign off from Longford TV, Ardagh Moydow 315, Cashel 11 points.